Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. GH spoilers. Willow has lost it. Her breakdown is only going to get worse from here. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, is suffering from a mental breakdown after losing custody of her children, Wiley Corinthos, Viron Weaver, and Amelia Corinthos, Serenity and Sequoia Morkmacko, to the children's father, Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson. She lost it after the verdict was read, and later fainted as a result. Willow does not seem to be the same since, and questions are starting to be raised. Most recently, Sasha Corbin's Sophia Matson, newborn daughter, Daisy was moved in the nursery, and subsequently Sasha was brought the wrong baby. It is possible that a mentally broken down Willow is responsible for moving the baby, and that could be just the beginning of Willow's episodes. Willow Corinthos just isn't herself anymore. Since the verdict was read, the light in Willow's eye is gone. She is just completely destroyed and in complete mental anguish. This is the start of something horrible for Willow, and her state of mind could only get worse from here. If she is responsible for moving Daisy in the NICU, she probably doesn't remember. She could start to have more memory lapses. Willow could not control her actions, and more chaos would ensue. More secret revelations descend Willow Corinthos further into madness. There are many secrets concerning Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, that could have a direct impact on Willow's mental state and drive her even closer to the edge. Learning the truth about Drew having sex with her mother, Nana Reeves, Cynthia Watros. Drew paying off the receptionist in Germany to tell her that Michael didn't want to see her, and that Drew really messed with Wiley's mind by making sure he overheard his conversation with Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, where he told him that Michael no longer wanted Wiley and Amelia, now that Daisy is here. These secrets could come out at any point, and in the state that Willow is now in, it could make matters even worse. Willow could become completely unhinged at this point and start to have blackouts where she does horrific things. Willow Corinthos goes after Drew Kane. When Willow learns the truth about what Drew has done, there is no doubt that due to the mental state that she is in, that she could go after Drew in a major way. Drew had better watch his back because Willow would want revenge, and she could hurt him or even try to murder him. But will she remember any of it? Maybe or maybe not. But now that Willow has had a complete breakdown, there is no telling what she would do next. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Willow's breakdown will get worse? Did Willow move baby Daisy in the ICU? Will Drew's secrets destroy Willow even more? Keep watching General Hospital, weekdays on ABC, to find out what happens next. And don't forget to check back right here for all your latest General Hospital information, news, and spoilers. Port Charles was unusually quiet that morning, wrapped in a dull gray mist that clung to the windows of General Hospital. Inside, Willow Corinthos stood outside the pediatric ICU, unmoving, her hands clenched tightly around a lukewarm paper coffee cup she hadn't taken a sip from. She had spent the last year fighting. First cancer, then grief, then the gnawing guilt that came with survival. Everyone thought she was better, stronger, healed, but she was crumbling, and no one saw it. Chapter 2. Too much, too fast. Ever since she was declared in remission, the expectations came flying at her like arrows. Return to teaching. Volunteer at the hospital. Be the perfect mother. Rebuild her marriage with Michael. Show gratitude. Be joyful. She smiled on cue. She kissed Wiley and Amelia with love. She told Michael she was fine. But the truth? She hadn't felt joy in months. Everything felt muted. Her body moved, but her soul hadn't caught up. And now she was hearing whispers of Nana's pardon, of Sonny's latest arrest, of Michael meeting with Dex again, and worst of all, rumors that Harmony's name had reappeared in an open police file. Willow's pulse spiked. She couldn't breathe. Chapter 3. The first shatter. It started with a scream. Willow had gone to the break room at General Hospital to rest. A nurse found her 10 minutes later, on the floor, surrounded by shattered glass, her hand bleeding from punching the vending machine. I just wanted a Snickers, she sobbed to a stunned Elizabeth Weber. I couldn't get it out. And then the machine wouldn't listen. Liz knelt by her side. Hey, it's okay. It's not about the candy bar, is it? Willow shook her head like a child. Nothing listens. No one sees me. Not really. Chapter 4. Carly's Concern. Carly was the first to see the cracks forming clearly. She's not okay, Carly told Michael one evening over dinner. She's holding it together by duct tape and denial. Michael frowned. She says she's just tired. She's exhausted in a way sleep can't fix, Carly said. That girl's been through hell and back, and now she's pretending she didn't leave pieces of herself behind. Michael looked down at his plate. What do I do? Be her husband, Carly said. Not her warden, not her coach. Just be there, even when she pushes you away. Chapter 5. The Confrontation. But Michael didn't listen. Instead, he tried to fix her. Therapy appointments, journaling prompts, yoga sessions. Let's do gratitude lists, he offered one night. Willow snapped. I'm tired of pretending I'm thankful, she screamed. What if I'm not? What if I hate everything right now? What if I hate myself? Michael was stunned silent. I died, Michael, she whispered, voice trembling. I died inside, and nobody came looking for me. She packed an overnight bag that night and left. Michael didn't stop her. Chapter 6. Spiraling. Willow found herself wandering through Port Charles with no plan. She ended up at the docks, wind whipping her hair as she stared at the water. She remembered standing there with Chase once, with Nina once, even with Harmony. Harmony. She thought she'd buried the pain of her mother's lies, of her death. But Harmony's voice still lived in the back of her mind, and it was getting louder. You don't belong, Willow. You were never meant to live this life. They only love you when you're useful. Willow stumbled back from the edge, sobbing. She didn't go home. Chapter 7. Nina's Guilt. Meanwhile, Nina Reeves had heard through the grapevine that Willow was slipping. She stood outside Kelly's, debating whether to go in and try to speak with Carly, but changed her mind. Instead, she found herself outside the hospital, asking Elizabeth for updates. She's off the schedule for now, Liz said gently. Michael called, said she needed space. I caused so much of this, Nina murmured. I just wanted to be part of her life. Liz gave a hesitant nod. Then maybe loving her means giving her the space to break without trying to fix her. Chapter 8. The Intervention. Jason was the next to step in. Willow found him sitting at the same park bench she always walked past on her morning jogs, but hadn't visited in weeks. He didn't speak as she sat beside him, just handed her a cup of hot tea. I know what it's like to carry pain alone, he said after a while. To think if you show it, you'll burden the people you love. Willow's eyes brimmed. What if I'm angry at everyone, Jason? Even Wiley sometimes. What kind of mother thinks like that? He looked her straight in the eye. A human one. And in that moment, Willow cracked open. Not completely, but enough to let someone in. Chapter 9. The Breaking Point. But the darkest hour was still ahead. Willow returned home after 5 days away. She hugged Wiley, held Amelia, told Michael she was trying. And then she found the unopened letter from Harmony, a piece of evidence from the PCP's reopened file, delivered accidentally to Michael's house from Diane's office. An old handwritten letter. It read, if she finds this, she'll know. Willow's real father is closer than she thinks, and he won't stop until she's broken. Protect her. It wasn't signed. Willow read it 5 times, her hands shaking. That night, she collapsed. Michael found her on the floor, unresponsive. Chapter 10. Rebuilding from Ruin. The next 48 hours were a blur. ER, monitors, IVs, panic attack, sleep deprivation, emotional burnout. Monica Quartermain, on shift that night, made the call. Willow needs inpatient care, she told Michael. Not forever, but now. Let her rest. Let her rebuild. Michael cried, but he nodded. When Willow woke up in the soft, quiet room of the mental wellness facility, she felt oddly numb, but safe. A nurse named Claire brought her tea. "You're not the first to land here," Claire said with a kind smile. "And you won't be the last. The strong ones break too." Epilogue. Not the end, but a beginning. 3 weeks later, Willow sat in a therapy circle, her hair pulled into a low braid, her eyes clearer than they'd been in months. "I thought healing meant being happy all the time," she said. "But it doesn't. It means letting go of the idea that you have to be perfect, that you have to carry it all. And it means allowing the broken parts to breathe." Outside the window, spring was beginning to stir. And for the first time in a long time, so was Willow's hope. Her breakdown wasn't over, but her comeback had quietly begun. The smile that doesn't reach her eyes. There was a time when Willow Corinthos lit up every room she entered. Her laughter was light, her presence calming. A rare kind of peace in a town like Port Charles. But lately, those who knew her best could tell something had shifted. Her smile was still there, but it no longer reached her eyes. Her voice was steady, but her words lacked warmth. Even the children noticed. Wiley tugged on Michael's sleeve one evening and whispered, "Mommy's here, but she's not here." Michael watched his wife from across the living room. She was curled up on the couch, book in hand, though she hadn't turned a page in nearly half an hour. Her eyes were distant, somewhere far from home. Something was wrong. Chapter 2. The Weight of Survival. Willow had survived the unthinkable leukemia, a brutal bone marrow transplant, weeks of uncertainty. Everyone had cheered when she came through it. "You're a miracle," they said. "You're so strong." But no one talked about what came after the victory, after the hospital gowns, after the silence. Survival isn't the end, Willow had once whispered to Elizabeth Weber during a volunteer shift at the hospital. It's a new kind of beginning. But no one tells you how to start over when your old self died somewhere in the chemo chair. Now she wandered through life like a ghost wearing her own skin. Chapter 3. Nina's Shadow. The looming presence of Nina Reeves didn't help. Though her legal troubles had faded and her relationship with Sonny remained strained, Nina still hovered on the edges of Willow's life, offering olive branches, apologies, desperate attempts to bond. Willow tried, for the sake of her children, but it was exhausting. Every brunch invitation, every baby gift for Amelia, every strained conversation felt like another mask she had to wear. Nina had become a symbol of all the confusion Willow couldn't put into words: rage, grief, betrayal, and somewhere beneath it all, the ache of a daughter wanting a mother. But Willow couldn't feel safe with her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Chapter 4. The Mirror Doesn't Lie. It was a Tuesday morning when Willow caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. She looked fine, clean, presentable, but empty. She touched her reflection gently. "Who are you?" Gone was the woman who once danced barefoot in the kitchen with Wiley, the teacher who used to bring joy to every classroom, the friend who texted Sasha at 2 a.m. just to check in. Now she felt like a shell, a placeholder in her own life. She hadn't even opened her teaching contract renewal from PC Elementary. Chapter 5. Carly notices first. "You're not okay," Carly said bluntly over coffee at the Metro Court. "You think you're hiding it, but you're not." Willow blinked. "I'm just tired." "No," Carly said, leaning in. "This isn't tired. This is something else. You're drifting, Willow. And that's dangerous." Willow's hands trembled around her cup. Carly softened. "You don't have to be strong for everyone. You just have to be honest with yourself." Willow nodded. But she wasn't ready. Not yet. Chapter 6. The Nightmares Return. That night, the nightmares came back. Not of illness, of harmony. She saw her mother's lifeless eyes in her dreams, heard her whispering dark things from the other side. "They don't love you. They love who you pretend to be. You were always broken. You can't escape me, Willow." She woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. Michael sat up beside her, panic in his voice. "Willow, what happened?" She couldn't speak, couldn't lie, but she couldn't explain the truth either. So she just cried, and Michael held her helpless. Chapter 7. The Flash Drive. A few days later, a package arrived at the gatehouse addressed to Willow in scrawled handwriting. No return address. Inside was a flash drive and a note that read, She wanted you to see this before she died. Willow hesitated for hours before plugging it into her laptop. The video was grainy, an old recording from the safe house Harmony had kept. Harmony, looking haggard and tear-streaked, stared into the camera. "If you're seeing this, it means I never got to say goodbye. I'm sorry, Willow, for the lies, for stealing you from your real mother, for everything. You were never mine to hurt. I loved you in my own way, but I didn't know how to protect you." Willow's breath caught. "And if you ever start to feel like you're unraveling, just remember, the pain you carry isn't yours alone. You come from fire, and fire doesn't fade. It burns until it becomes something new." The screen went black. Willow sat there for a long time, trembling. Chapter 8. Burnout. Willow canceled on Nina the next day, then Sasha, then Elizabeth. Then she missed a therapy appointment without explanation. She stopped replying to texts, slept too much, barely ate. Michael found her one afternoon on the back porch, still in her robe at 3 p.m., staring at the yard with glassy eyes. "Willow," he said gently, "this isn't you." She turned toward him slowly. "Maybe it is." "Let me help." "You can't," she snapped, eyes blazing. "Stop trying to fix me. What if I don't want to be the woman I was before? What if she died in that hospital room, and I'm just what's left?" Michael recoiled like she'd hit him. Willow's hands flew to her mouth. I didn't mean." But the damage was done. And in her heart, Willow wasn't sure she hadn't meant it. Chapter 9. The unexpected visit. It was Brooklyn who finally reached her. She showed up uninvited one morning, armed with coffee and a bag of cinnamon muffins. "I don't want to talk," Willow warned. "Cool," Brooklyn said, biting into a muffin. "Then we won't." They sat in silence for almost 20 minutes before Willow finally sighed. "I'm broken." Brooklyn shrugged. "We all are." Willow turned to her. "How do you live with it?" "I stopped trying to go back to who I was," Brooklyn said softly, "and start figuring out who I'm becoming, even if she scares the hell out of me." Willow cried then, not from panic, but from release. Someone finally understood. Chapter 10. The shift. Little by little, things changed. Willow didn't go back to teaching right away. She started volunteering again, this time not as a symbol of hope, but just as someone who needed purpose. She met with a trauma therapist, not because others wanted her to, but because she did. She started journaling. Honest, messy entries full of rage, fear, guilt, and hope. She let Nina back in for a conversation. Not a reconciliation, not yet, but a conversation. And one morning, Wiley asked, "Mommy, are you back?" She kissed his head. Not back, just finding a new way to be. Epilogue. Becoming Willow again. The woman in the mirror wasn't the same as she used to be. She had deeper lines, softer strength, a shadow behind her eyes, but also light. Willow Corinthos wasn't who she once was. But maybe that was okay, because the new version of her, she was real, and she was finally starting to feel like herself again.